My daughter is in Africa, and so she's not able to be here. So she wrote a little note, and she mentioned a lot of things that I was going to say, so I'll just read her note. She's better at it than I am. The first time I remember meeting my grandma, she and Grandpa were living in Greenleaf. I had a book or my Bible in my hand, and from that day on, Grandma assumed that I was a bookworm. It wasn't true, but it did inspire me to read more. I remember one Sabbath I read a whole book to her. It was a fairly long book, and it took all afternoon to read. Grandma helped me with words I didn't know. I'd have to spell them out for her since she couldn't see them, but she was just as enthusiastic about my book as I was. Not only was my grandma a big supporter of my reading, she was a huge supporter of just about everything in my life. She was so proud of us, and she told us so often. She was a fantastic lady. She was always eager to tell us stories or ask about school or any other extracurricular activities me or my siblings were involved in. I can't even count how many times we used her stories for an interview in a history class or some kind of project. Our last one was a college project that both Jesse and I worked on together. Grandma had an amazing life. She had so much love to give. She gave it freely. She always used to tell us that we were related by love and by law, even if we weren't related by blood. She loved us so much, and we loved her. She would spend almost every Sabbath afternoon at our house. Some days she'd fall asleep in her usual spot on the couch. Other days she'd talk, and before we knew it, it was time for her to go home. Grandma came to all our school plays or concerts. She came to every event we were involved in. She even came to all the concerts Mom was involved in. She always said she was the biggest fan of the Good News Singers. It didn't matter that she had heard all of the songs so many times. She knew all of the words. She still loved it. When I went off to Walla Walla College, I didn't get to see my grandma very much, only when I came home. But she'd always hug me tight, tell me I'm looking good and healthy, and that she loved me and was always praying for me. She was super supportive of me going away to Africa for 9 months. She was, of course, worried for me, but she told me she would pray for me every day. She asked me to write her letters. Mail is so slow here, it would take about a month for her to get anything from me. When I said goodbye to her the day before I left, I knew there was a chance that she wouldn't be there when I got home. But I quickly dismissed it because she always took such good care of herself. We always said that she was going to live to be 120. Though it's tough not being able to be there right now, I have peace in my heart. I know my grandma is sleeping, and I will see her again soon. Like I said in my last letter to her, a spin-off of a little children's book, she writes, I like you for always, I'll love you, I like you forever, I'll love you for always, but as long as I'm living, my grandma, you will be. By love and by law, Grandma, by love and by law. And one little note from me. Grandma, last Sabbath was hard for me. A lot of firsts happened that day. I missed picking you up for church, of course. I was always 10 minutes late getting there, but of course, you never minded. I missed taking you home with me and seeing you there sitting at your spot on our couch. You loved our cat, tolerated our dog. I missed hearing you squeal when Larry gave you your dessert. You loved the raisins that he gave you while the rest of us ate all that sugar dessert. But Grandma, I will see you again soon. And guess what? You'll have no more chronic cough. Grandma, please look for me.